one person that came to You're looking at the reason for our being here. The logo that you just saw and the people assembled in the studio are here for a moment that gives us a great deal of pride, and we take a great deal of pride in sharing that moment with you. And that's the sign-on ceremonies, which are about to take place right down the hall from here in the studios of KAMU-FM. And we couldn't think of a better way to sign the station on than with the presence of the person who really got it all started and began writing the memos and suggesting to us that it would be a good idea to have an FM station serving the community. And that's with the president of Texas A&M University, Dr. Jack K. Williams. President Williams, we were very pleased to have you here. We appreciate you being here.
Not nearly as glad to be here as I am. And when you said serving the community, you said the magic words, Mel, because I feel like the station that we have will not only be a wonderful training facility for our students, but will offer the community something in radio programming, which I don't believe competes with anything we have, but I do believe is needed to fill the gaps. And so I'm happy that our station is going on the air.
Well, we're happy that it's going on the air too, and in about 12 or 13 minutes, I'm sure that it will go on the air, and we've asked you to take part in those ceremonies by actually speaking the first words and playing the first musical selection, and we'll be doing that in a few minutes. I think it's incumbent upon us to involve in this little activity the guy who's done an awful lot of work with the origination of the station itself, and that's Don Simons, who up until now has been the assistant director for educational television, and now of course we're moving from educational television to a little broader scope and encompassing educational radio. And Don, you've done an awful lot of work, and we appreciate your being here too. I know you wouldn't have missed it though, would you?
No, not at all. We would certainly like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to the staff and to the university administration for the help that they've given us. Last night about 2:30 we were getting the final touches on the studio and everything in the FM room, and we're ready, President Williams.
Don, what goes on? What do you have to do over a 7-year period to get a radio station ready?
Well, that's a long, involved story, sir. You have not only the local position of asking for permission in terms of the university officials, but we also become involved with the Federal Communications Commission. We've become involved and received a grant from HEW in terms of the equipment that we have in there, in terms of matching the dollars that the university put up, and then an awful lot of hard work, sir.
When I was an undergraduate in college, I had the pleasure of working with the radio station, which was then nothing at all really compared to what we have now. When I worked at Clemson as a teacher, I was faculty advisor for the radio station there for a while. We had one tiny little room, and we were on, I believe, 3 hours a day. 5 hours a day we took up collections in order to be on for those 3. But these were different days. Wow. And it certainly is good, as far as I'm concerned, to see the wonderful equipment we have. And I know how hard you've had to work, and I thank you in the name of a lot of people.
Well, Dr. Williams, the whole thing really started with your idea. How did you come up with the idea in the first place? Was it because of the experience you've had at, I think it was at Emory and Henry University?
Well, I drove over to see you in Bagley Hall.
I'm glad you didn't decide to just pull the plug.
I thought most any suggestion I made would be a happy one under the conditions of Bagley Hall, and those in the audience who remember it know what I'm talking about. Right. No, seriously, I think we have a marvelous program of communications, and I thought the radio was needed. A good radio station doing public broadcasting servicing was necessary really to round out our program. And as in the case of the medical program and one or two other things, I didn't realize that you couldn't just get it done. I didn't realize it, as in biblical lore, everything requires 7 years. But that's about what it's taken, hasn't it? from suggestion to reality.
I think that's about true. It's been in someone's mind about as long as the television station's been on the air. You know, before we get too far, there are three particular people with our station. There have been so many people who have worked so many hours to try and turn your original idea into physical pieces of equipment and programming ideas, but there are three people in particular that I think we should introduce, and they're waiting for us in FM control. And before we go down there, I'd like to introduce to the people here and to the folks watching at home three guys who've really worked awful hard to help this thing come about. The first one I think we'll see is Rod Zent. He's our current program director for KAMU-TV. He's also been the acting program director for KAMU-FM and has done a fantastic amount of work. He's had a lot of experience in radio and has done a lot for us. He's even got his headsets on. And
he's been involved very fruitfully in everything we've done over in this building.
The second guy, second guy I'd like to introduce is John Gray. He's our chief engineer and has personally supervised the selection and acquisition and test and installation of virtually every piece of equipment in this building.
You think John looks a little nervous, right?
Well, he's lost a little bit of sleep during the past few months, but he's doing all right. And the third guy is Wayne Pacina. The people that know him call him Pooh Bear, and he has put this entire station together, bolt by bolt and solder joint by solder joint. He's had a lot of help, but a whole bunch of it has been his own personal work, and he spent a lot of time on his back underneath the equipment, and without Pooh Bear and John and Rod, I don't think we could have gotten where we are.
No, I've been over to watch you as you put it together a time or two, and I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think people would be interested, Dr. Williams, in finding out how not only the radio station, but any idea that a university president comes up with gets translated from an idea into a reality. What happens from the time that you decide that it would be a good idea for the university to start a venture until it can actually become a reality? How do you interact with the board?
That's an impossible question to answer because there are different paths that you take for different types of ideas. For example, if it happens to be an idea that strikes the Board of Regents as a happy one, the path is so much smoother. And this one did. And
did it really?
They thought this was really a good dimension to add to the university, and so we've had no problems at all in smoothing it through the regular university channels. The faculty who worked and talked about it and worked with it were unanimously behind it. John Calhoun, Dick Winerty, the Haskell Monroe, the academic division could see purpose to it. Howard Vestal in the business office has helped. And he moves figures from right to left and left to right. He's helped us with it. And then we went, of course, into the business of having to write these various proposals to the federal government. And in almost every program you do, you're involved in getting federal permission to do it. If you intend to have any federal money, that's a necessity. And if you don't intend to have federal money, you have to have your own oil wells. So we have gone through all those stages of local, Board of Regents, federal, and then, of course, putting it together with our own staff and our own expertise. And in each case, it's a longer delay than you would normally expect.
Yeah, it usually is. Most of those kinds of things.
I'll take it back. In every case except the last, when we finally had all the approvals and put it in the hands of you people, you went around the clock to get it started. And I thank you for that.
Well, we just hope it all turns on when we throw the switch. That'll make it all worthwhile. I think we should say a couple of things to the people who are watching on television right now. The first is that the whole purpose for this 15-minute program is to get you ready to listen to KAMU-FM. If you'd like to know where that is, it's 90.3 on your dial, and I believe the carrier of the station is already on and sending out a tone right now so that you can dial up on your FM receiver at home to 90.3 and hear that tone. And in about 4 minutes or so, we'll walk down the hall and put Dr. Williams to work, and he'll actually sign it on for us.
I can't see. In the audience, which is behind us, Letha Malloy, who sort of has been helping us put all these things together.
Right.
But
I'm sure she's here.
I'd like to say hello to Letha and thanks to her if she's around. She's probably in there checking out dials right now. Bob Rogers, I would also think we ought to thank for all he's done, who heads our communications program.
Right.
and who will put a number of students through internship on this radio and its programming, and we will be turning out, again, communications graduates who know more about the real thing.
If we're going to talk about the radio station, I know you've had ideas from the very beginning, not only that there should be a radio station, but what kind of a station it should be. I'm sure people would be interested in hearing.
What I really hope we can do with our station is have a resource which will do programming of a public interest nature, as well as entertainment of the type that will attract a broad and mature audience, frankly. I hope we can do the same kind of good work and popular work with this radio station that we do with our TV. Good in radio as you and all your colleagues are in TV. We've got it made. And I have no designs of one sort or another, except I do hope the music will be listenable, the public programs will be exciting and will be thought-provoking, and I hope we will be an asset to the community at large in our programs.
Well, in the minute or so we have left before it's time to go down and turn on the station, we ought to have Don Simons tell us a little bit about the station and how many hours a day it's on the air and what kind of program we're going to run. Don, can you fill us in on that?
I surely will, Mel. And the problem that we have is it will be on from 6 a.m. in the morning until 12 midnight. 18 hours a day, 365 or 66 days a year. And so if I figured it correctly, it's 6,552 hours, sir. And we will bring the community easy listening music, classical, semi-classical, the big band sound, jazz, some folk melodies. We'll bring the National Public Radio Services, such programs as All Things Considered and NPR Recital Hall. The All Things Considered is both a Peabody and a DuPont award-winning presentation of each day, and I think it's something the community is going to enjoy very much. At least we're going to work in that direction. President Williams, if I may, in this last minute, on behalf of the station, I would like to present to you a tie clip, which is the National Public Radio symbol, and we are very proud to give it to you, and we will strive very hard to earn everything that we can in terms of benefits for the community and work through for entertainment, for education, and for information to them.
Well, I thank you, and I'll wear it right above my Aggie Century Club.
All right, sir. If I can get above that, that's fine.
Just on a par with it would be fine with us.
Well, above it in location only.
That's right. Well, there's the announcement, Dr. Williams. I think we better take our mics off and move down the hall.
Good afternoon. KAMU-FM welcomes you to its first day of broadcasting. KAMU-FM Stereo is licensed to and operated by Texas A&M University, with studios and transmitter located on the Texas A&M University campus in College Station, Texas. KAMU-FM operates on the federally assigned frequency of 90.3 megahertz, with an effective radiated power of 3.21 kilowatts, STL number WPX294. The objective of KAMU-FM is to provide informative, enlightening, and cultural programming for the people of Bryan, College Station, and the surrounding vicinity. Your comments about our programming and objectives are appreciated. This is KAMU-FM Stereo, 90.3, College Station, Texas. And now, here is the president of Texas A&M University, Dr. Jack K. Williams.
It is a very real pleasure for me to represent everyone at Texas A&M in saying welcome to the first program broadcast over KAMU-FM. This radio station, like all projects at A&M, has one essential purpose, and that is to extend the resources of our university to all the communities we serve. In the special case of KAMU-FM, our purposes are to provide music for your entertainment, public affairs and news for your information, discussion programs which may lead to your involvement, and in order to do these things well, we seek your help. The national president of the Public Broadcasting Service recently told Congress that there were 3 objectives to public broadcasting, and they were programming, programming, and programming. It is a little hard to disagree with that evaluation, and in these first few minutes of our life as a radio station, I would like to emphasize that we do need your input in all we do, because this is in truth your station, ladies and gentlemen. For the past 7 years, you have responded in a helpful and progressive way to the programs we have sent out over our university television station, KAMU-TV, and it is our hope you will have the same interest in KAMU-FM. The tremendous, dedicated people who are working here at the station have done their homework for the past 3 years in planning this station and its programming, and I think they have program schedules which will interest you and which will make you regular listeners. But nonetheless, they seek to improve all they do, and they need you to tell them whether they have guessed right or wrong in their programming and to what extent. They want you to become involved with this station. They ask you to stop and visit, to call us on the phone, to write letters, to tell us what you like and what you don't like, and in return, we will do everything we can to provide you with the programming you want to hear. Now, in trying to decide what piece of music would be the first to be presented over KAMU-FM, we had unanimous agreement that it should be something by our singing cadets. We have chosen a song entitled I Believe in Music, one which has been sung in concert many times by the cadets and reflects both their philosophy and the philosophy of this new radio station. We hope you enjoy our great singing cadets as they sing I Believe in Music, and we hope this will be the first moment of countless hours of pleasure this station will bring you.
Well, I could just sit around making music all day long. Long as I'm making music, I know I can't do nobody wrong. And who knows, maybe someday I'll come up with a song that makes people want to stop the fussing and fighting just long enough to sing along. I believe in music. I believe in love. Music is love, love is music, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. People who believe in music are the happiest people I ever seen. Clap your hands, clap your hands, shake your tambourine. Lift your voices to the sky. God loves you when you sing. Everybody sing, I believe in music. I believe in love. Sing it to me, children. I believe in music. Lord knows that I believe in love. Music is a universal language and love is the key. With brotherhood and peace and understanding to living in harmony. So take your brother by the hand and sing along with, sing with me, and find out what it really means to be young and rich and free. Everybody sing, everybody sing, I believe in music. I believe in love. Sing it to me, children. I believe in music. Lord knows that I believe in
KAMU-TV has taken this portion of our broadcast day to bring you the sign-on ceremony of KAMU-FM, Stereo 90.3. For those of you who wish to join our television programming, we now join Sesame Street in progress. This is KAMU-TV, Channel 15, College Station, Texas.